Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin and welcome back to your latest Chelsea transfer news. Lots to talk about, like every other day. Some important conversation that we need to have in regards to Enzo Fernandez. There's a article that has dropped by Liam Toomey, which outlines what he's up to, how he's being deployed. Of course, all of us want to know, are we getting the best out of Enzo Fernandez? He's a hot topic, as I said, and this will give us an opportunity to really lay down where Enzo Fernandez, where is his true value at Chelsea Football Club at the moment. So we're going to talk about that. There's lots in regards to Fabrizio Romano hyping up Chelsea Football Club. Once again, Fabrizio Romano, he's on a mission. He's on a one-man mission to really hype up Chelsea, which is great. We're going to talk about that as well. A little bit of information in regards to Sancho and Madueke and Levi Colwill as well. So it's going to be another fantastic Chelsea latest news update. Smash up the like button, guys. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. And thank you so much for 36,000 subscribers. Really, really appreciate that a lot. Now we're going to race towards 40,000. Okay, let's kick things off in this particular article. Let's have a look through what the article really states, and then we're going to provide our opinion on it. I think in recent times, myself, I've made it quite evident that Enzo Fernandez, the way he's being deployed at the moment by Maresca and the way he was being deployed by Pochettino, I don't think it gets the best out of him, and I feel like it creates a midfield imbalance, and it's almost to the point where you want a different solution in midfield as opposed to continuing with Enzo Fernandez. Granted, he is the captain of Chelsea Football Club right now whilst Reece James is injured, but we need to ensure the right balance is provided in midfield. So let's go through the article, and then we're going to talk about Enzo Fernandez in details a lot more. So far this season, as the left-sided number 8 in Maresca's system, Enzo Fernandez is getting more of his touches slightly higher up the pitch and even more focused on the left side. This shifts in where the ball is finding him are subtle but clearly noticeable. Absolutely bang on. Most matches that we are seeing right now, he is playing higher up and he is playing on the left side. So much so where he kind of overlaps with the left winger, and at times it feels like the left winger in this situation, it's Jadon Sancho, who almost feels bothered that how close Enzo Fernandez is most of the times. He is occupying some wing areas at times, which is quite strange. So this particular percentage graph kind of tells you that this is what's been happening. As you can see, 11% on the left side, 7% on the left side, 9% through the middle, more so 8% on the left side. So predominantly on the left side in this area, that's where he's been operating. Last season, Fernandez took the bulk of his touches in the center of midfield under Pochettino, while operating more on the left side of the middle third of the pitch than the right. So last season, as you can see, more in the middle, 9%. Yes, there is that 7%. More in the half spaces, basically, as you can see over there. So both the times I feel like, I'm not really sure whether he's been completely utilized properly. I feel he should be more or less around this 9% mark. In fact, that percentage should be probably even be a lot higher, and that 5% over here probably needs to be a lot higher as well. So basically operating in the central part. I don't mind him operating sometimes around the 8% mark and that 2% mark over here, and try and really build up the play from deep, but that's not what's happening at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know whether it's the case because him playing deeper, if we lose the ball in those areas, then he's going to be exposed. His lack of physicality is going to be really outlined in those areas. But I feel like if we want to be a particular team building up from the back, you need Enzo Fernandez to be operating in those areas as opposed to up front where we've seen in the graph. It almost feels like we expect him to be like a Cesc Fabregas kind of a player, which I personally don't think he is. I think he's far more better deeper when he's got the wider view of the field and he can spray passes long. But that's simply not how he's being deployed. So is it a bit of a mismatch? Is it a bit of a mismatch? Now, Further on, Liam Toomey goes on to say, Enzo Fernandez is averaging 66.3 touches per 90 minutes in the Premier League this season, according to FBref, down from 86.9 touches per 90 minutes in the 2023-24 season. That is a big drop, which is due to him being far less involved in Chelsea's possession, build up in the defensive and middle thirds. His attacking third touches per 90 minutes are virtually identical this season and last season. So, Liam Toomey, through the stats, has completely identified that he's not really getting, utilized for build-up. And I feel like that's his strength. And if we're not going to use his strength, then we might as well think about a different player coming in. And I feel like someone like Romeo Lavia probably will help, in regards to being that deeper midfielder. And then you can allow for someone like Cole Palmer or Sancho or whoever else up front to dictate the play. Having Enzo Fernandez up front and asking him to dictate the play, that's not what we're seeing right now. He simply is not delivering that, especially in the last match against Nottingham Forest. Low block most of the times. He's not being able to find those key passes. It was Cole Palmer who was threading those passes on a regular basis. It was Sancho who was threading those passes on a regular basis. So, once again, if we're not utilizing him properly, you might as well find a different solution. Fernandez's single best attribute might be his ability to identify and play progressive passes. So it is fair to ask if moving him higher in the midfield and giving him the ball to feet much less often truly maximizes him. Once again, we think Enzo Fernandez is a Cesc Fabregas type of a player. Give him the ball up higher up and he's going to find those key passes and there's going to be movements, this, that, the other. But that's not the case. That's not the case. He's operating in left wing sometimes. Sometimes he's, drifting so far out wide, it's almost as if he's a winger, which he simply isn't. From those areas, the only thing he can probably deliver is a cross. And right now, we don't have those brilliant options in the box when you cross it in, people that are so strong in headers. We just don't have those options. We need link up play. We need quick touches. We need to find those runners in behind so we can thread that ball through. That's not something Enzo Fernandez provides in the final third. So I feel like it is a bit of a missed profile. Enzo Fernandez's effort and energy are not in question. He presses as hard as his body will allow as part of Chelsea's broader structure without the ball, and he generally works hard in regain a more defensive midfield position nearer to Caicedo when the situation requires him to do so. And this is the other problem. On the ball, we expect him to be so good, but I feel like he's far superior when he's deeper. So up front is not that effective. Off the ball, there is major flaws. His work rate, even though, he's trying his hardest, it's simply not good enough. He doesn't win the second ball often enough. He doesn't win duels often enough. And he definitely doesn't recover quick enough. Opposition midfielders find it very easy to go straight through him. And Liam Toomey talks about this in this particular point right here. Enzo Fernandez is averaging more attempted tackles per 90 minutes. So he's averaging more tackles, 3.9 in the Premier League, than any Chelsea player not named Caicedo this season. But the success rate is 40%, 40.9%. So he attempts more tackles, but he's not successful. Only marginally better than Madueke at 40%. Madueke is a true winger. Caicedo, by comparison, wins the ball 70% of the time. Winning the ball, ladies and gentlemen, is huge. It's very important, especially in midfield. You don't win the ball often enough in midfield, you're going to be in trouble. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to the next topic, Enzo Fernandez, with the ball, is getting utilized in a manner which is not suitable to his gameplay. I feel should be far deeper, where he can spray the pass and he can create chaos from deeper positions. For some reason, both Pochettino and Maresca don't fancy that. I don't know why. Is it because of his defensive the defensive liability that he carries? And then off the ball, playing higher up, he needs to recover. He doesn't recover quick enough on a regular basis, and as you can see, his defensive stats, he does attempt a lot of tackles, but he's been unsuccessful. So overall, do we need to have a different type of a midfielder? I feel like Romeo Lavia, hopefully he can stay fit. Him and Caicedo probably provides a far better balance. Let me know your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, in regards to Enzo Fernandez. Off the back of what Liam Toomey has written, let me know your comments below. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Fabrizio Romano. I'm told that Maresca is having a very good impact on these players on the tactical point of view, and also the results of that have clearly been good. But most important part is the feeling he created with the players. They're all very happy with Maresca, how direct and clear he is. Also, the fans are appreciating that, and you can feel a different atmosphere at Stamford Bridge this season. This is true. I mean, look, I don't know too much about the fact that how players are feeling right now. Obviously, it's early in the season. We've got a lot of matches to play. So players are getting minutes distributed quite nicely. As the season continues, and especially after this international, we've got some big games coming up. We'll see exactly where the mentality of the team is, what the team is truly about under Enzo Maresca, and then we'll see how the players feel. Obviously, players like Kani Chukwuemeka seems like he's out of the picture. Ben Chilwell is out of the picture. There are a few other players that are out of the picture. Some players don't seem to get minutes on a regular basis. Let's see how the season continues, because the more players don't play, the more they're going to complain. But right now, overall, it does look like a lot of players are happy. You know, Caicedo has come out publicly stating that he loves playing under this new manager and the style that we're playing. Levi Colwell has said the same thing. Madueke has said the same thing. Nicholas Jackson has said the same thing. So it definitely feels like it's a good environment. And of course, from a fan base, in regards to the fan base perspective, yes, definitely it feels like Enzo Maresca has got the authority. The way he speaks in media, the way he's educating the fan base as well is fantastic. And in the last phase, from the last international break to this international break, it's been a good upward trajectory. So let's see if that continues. So most of the things Fabrizio Romano said there, I do agree with him. Fabrizio Romano further goes on to say, it's been a really strong start to the season for Chelsea, and I think Enzo Maresca deserves credit after his arrival this summer in what was not the easiest moment. Mauricio Pochettino had also done well towards the end of the season, but the club decided to go in a different direction, though it now looks like it's proved to be a smart call. Even on an inexperienced name in his first Premier League job. So look, yeah, early days, so far so good. Enzo Maresca does look like someone who knows what he's doing, who holds a lot of authority, and overall comes across a very smart operator. He's quite brutal in his language when it comes to talking about certain players, and he's quite ruthless. So let's see how long that continues. Hopefully it does continue nicely and there's no dramas till the end of the season and throughout his tenure at Chelsea Football Club. But it is early days. We just need to stay calm. So overall, look, Fabrizio Romano, yeah, I agree with his sentiment so far. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, former Manchester United assistant coach Mike Phelan on Sancho at United. We had no issues with Jadon Sancho whatsoever. No issues at all. The only thing was to get him out there on the training ground and get out of him exactly what we thought his qualities were. That didn't happen for some reason. There were bits of the moments. There were bits of moments, but ultimately he didn't progress in a way we probably should have. Look, I'm not sure what has happened. But one thing's for certainty, Erik ten Hag has stuffed up with many players. Is Sancho one of them? I don't know if I can completely put all the blame on Erik ten Hag. There might have been some part from Sancho as well. If you guys remember, he was given the time, that 2-3 months off, to go away, clear his head. I think mentally there was some problems as well. Was the whole situation of coming to Man United, big club, big wages, big demands, big expectation, was it a bit too early for Sancho? I'm not sure. Maybe it was, and he was finding it difficult to cope with all of that. And then Erik ten Hag also, I think, contributed to to this player's, I wouldn't say downfall, but not getting the best out of him. So, look, hopefully now he's at a good place. He's been stated to say that he's back home and that he can find himself again and he can find that Dortmund Sancho again. And so far, it's been going good. Hopefully, it keeps developing week by week for Jadon Sancho, and we get to see exactly what talent he is. He's still young. He still can develop, and hopefully, that's what is going to happen at Chelsea Football Club. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about Jadon Sancho in Man United and what your thoughts are for Jadon Sancho, hopefully at Chelsea Football Club. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Noni Madueke. I'm just trying to be the best version of me. Obviously, I admire Cristiano Ronaldo and a lot of other top players, but I'm just trying to be as good as I can be. So in terms of setting goals, I just always try and be better and better every session, every game, and that's really it. Look, Noni Madueke has been copying a lot of criticism in recent times, some rightly so, some I think a little bit harsh. My final assessment on Noni Madueke, if you guys have seen my recent video, do check that out, where I did a reaction on social media frenzy on Noni Madueke. That was the last video. Do give that a watch. My final thoughts on Noni Madueke is a couple of things. Inconsistency. He needs to be far more consistent with his performances. He can't go from dropping 9 out of 10 in a particular match to then 5s and 6. If he can maintain about 7.5 to about 8 in most matches, I think people are going to be quite happy with that. The second thing is execution. His final third, execution. Decision-making and execution. He needs to really work hard on that. And I think that's something Enzo Maresca can sit down, show some clips to Madueke, and then really hone in on where he can make better decisions and better execution on those decisions as well. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Levi Colwill is expected to start for England on Thursday against Greece, coming from Fabrizio Romano. I'm very happy for Levi Colwill. Obviously, he's been one of our best defenders, if not the best defender. I think he's been the best defender for us at Chelsea Football Club, and he's only getting better and better week by week. He's becoming somewhat of a leader as well, and he's putting on performances that are motivational, that are driving others to do better as well. But my only worry is, you're going to play for England, no problems. It's your national team you need to represent. But I worry about the workload. You are now starting on a regular basis for Chelsea. You are now also playing for England in the international break. I just hope that you don't get injured, which then becomes a detrimental situation for us. So hopefully England manages him properly. Some of these matches against Greece, looks like he's expected to start, but did he really need to? You'd think England should be able to beat someone like Greece without the services of Levi Colwill. There are other centre-backs that they can rely on. Mark Gehi from Crystal Palace is a particular name that comes to my mind, and I'm pretty sure there's more. So, yeah, hopefully England does manage his workload and does not burn him out. Let's see if there's any other news that has dropped since we started recording. No, that's the latest. Which was in regards to Levi Colwill. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts in regards to Enzo Fernandez, especially how you feel about his position at Chelsea Football Club. Do you think he has a future? Do you think he should be replaced with Romeo Lavia? He is the club captain. What would you like him to do for getting a better balance in the midfield of Chelsea Football Club? Let me know your thoughts. Smash up the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, take care. See ya. Goodbye.